During the 2021 July riots, South African communities and businesses were looted and violated. More than 300 people died. In a township called Phoenix in eThekwini, more than 30 people were killed. Government called it a massacre in the area segmented for Indians during apartheid, now home to Africans too.
We are against the racism in Phoenix.
Fingers were pointed at racism as the source of these deaths. Others said they were protecting themselves. It's been a year later. Eyewitness News went back to see what people there understand now about what happened and how far they are in their quests for justice. In the aftermath of the July riots, President Cyril Ramaphosa appointed an expert panel to review South Africa's response to the unrest. The panel gave its findings on the Phoenix riots numbers a year later. 36 people were murdered, 164 cases were investigated, 120 are still under investigation. 69 suspects were arrested for various crimes. 36 of these suspected were arrested for their alleged roles in the murders of 35 people, and 31 people arrested for attempted murder. Before reflecting on what happened in Phoenix, here's a picture and a brief history of the township. In Phoenix, Indians formed the biggest race in its population. During apartheid, it was a designated area in which working-class Indians were forced to live. Around Phoenix are African-majority townships, such as KwaMashu, Inanda, and Mautana. When the riots began, people in Phoenix barricaded main roads to prevent rioters from entering and looters escaping with stolen goods. But what was intended to prevent and protect ended up in bloodshed. And that bloodshed was said to have arisen from what some people in these areas refer to as past racial tensions between Indians and Africans in KwaZulu-Natal. Reports of racial profiling were said to have occurred at these barricades. Videos of vigilantes hunting down and attacking alleged looters circulated at the time, and among them were also innocent travelers.
So what happened is that one of these people that had approached my vehicle came towards the driver's side. So since my window had been closed, I had to roll it down in order to be able to speak to this person and explain to him that I was going home. I even gave him my address. The other person snatched and grabbed grabbed and snatched my car keys. I felt someone hitting me with an iron rod on my back. And another person hit me on my head with a cricket bat. I overheard one person saying, shoot this monkey.
They took my car keys. They start smashing the car. They were manhandling me out from the car. They were saying racist words. They were insulting. They were telling that what black people did in 1949 is their turn. They do it to black people.
In Mautana, some of the locals said that many members of the community decided to participate in the looting. Lungiswa Lukuzo's brother, Lindani Anthony, was part of those who participated. He was killed after meeting with armed vigilantes.
Ngoba athi mayichaza mandiya babezivikele ezitolweni zabo kanti masibona thina ngabantu bebehamba ngomgaqo akungekho umuntu wayengena emizini yabantu asiphili kahle nje bandisho akukho kwakuphila kahle Siba nomfanekiso mina mangile yakhe ngicabange nengipahla wayizigqokile ohamba izigqokile basaziwashwe yimina kanje eziwasha nje ngisiwashe banzigcina eqenqelishe mangiziwashe kanti uzogqoka kanti azophinde ngibone akukuhambi nje kahle.
Tuli Ngcobo's son, Bekinkosi Innocent, was part of the group of looters Lindani Anthony was alleged to be part of.
Ayikhona angifuni uqamba manga kule nyanga nje ngiqalile kuyavuka emaminithini ukuthi lezi insuku saxoxa nomntanami ngangithi singazi ukuthi uyahamba sixoxa indaba ukuthi solungisa la ngaphandle kwakuyizona lezi insuku inyanga isanda kuphela kodwa manje akwenzekanga konke lokho.
Both families have made it clear that they don't condone the actions of the two men, but say that the manner in which they died was unjustified.
Ngibona ukuthi impela asenzanga ngokufanele. Ngoba phela noma ngabeke kwakwenze njani babe ngafanele ukubulawa. Ngibona nje ihluko esisimangaliso andingendlela ingane zayilimele ngayo angikwazi ukuchaza.
Most of those killed were Africans, and majority of the suspects initially arrested in connection to the murders were of Indian descent. Lukuzo said she never opened a case because she didn't know who exactly killed her brother. Ngcobo did open a case, but has not received any updates on the matter. Alongside community members who decided to fend Phoenix were local security services. One of them was the KZN VIP Protection Services, whose founder, Glenn Naidu, who was known for sharing a video of himself calling out to residents to surround and barricade Phoenix during the unrest. He defended his video instructing barricades to be erected. He said more people would have died if he didn't intervene. He blames government for failing to ensure safety, saying the responsibility fell on private security companies.
I saw members of the South African police standing there, unable to do things. I saw policemen running away from crime scenes because hordes of people were just advancing on them. I can't blame them. They're not Robocops. So I just told the community, barricade our places so that we can use it as a calming effect, not to allow people through our roads. I just did whatever I had to do to look after my clients, to prevent more people from dying, and that's basically it. I regret everything that has taken place in the sense that innocent people died. I'm also going to say that, okay, because they looted, it doesn't mean that they needed to be killed.
Naidu agrees that those who killed people must be arrested. He also says that no racial tensions exist in Phoenix.
I think under the unrest, the perception by politicians to create racial tension, they influence racial tension. We don't have any racial tension in Phoenix. We've got a lot of black Africans living in Phoenix, and we're more comfortable living with them than with our own, inverted commas, other groups of South Africans.
Naidu is now retired from the private security service and is planning to immigrate from the country as he feels it is not safe for him and his family. Phoenix community leader Jonathan Anipen rebuffs that his community is racist.
Racism exists. It exists in every community. And I would venture to agree with you that in times of crisis, in times when emotions are high, in times when people are not thinking, those racial tendencies will come to the fore. Let me admit to you that in the Indian community there are people who are racially intolerant. If I said otherwise, I'd be a liar. But for us to go and paint a picture of Phoenix as a racial community, given the fact that Phoenix is known to be a predominantly Indian community, is disingenuous and very underhanded, especially by the leaders of government who came here and made those statements. I think many of those individuals don't have a clue about the type of lifestyles people live in Phoenix.
In the aftermath of the unrest, the provincial government embarked on social cohesion programs in communities like Phoenix. On the day of the one-year commemoration of July Unrest, 8 July, the provincial government said that they have had social cohesion programs and will continue with them. But leaders like Anipen criticize how they were being implemented.
We spend millions of rand on social cohesion workshops and conferences, but really where it needs to be, where those resources need to be spent is on the ground. No use getting together a whole lot of politicians and community leaders, giving them a 5-star dinner, talking about social cohesion, when on the ground, you're hearing racial comments. On the ground, you have the penny sparrows. On the ground, you have people who are making racial remarks. We see nothing from the part of government as far as social cohesion is concerned.
Anipen says government needs to address the high levels of poverty, unemployment, and inequality to properly address social cohesion issues. The expert panel established to investigate the riots found that the main reasons for why the July riots were exacerbated was that there were weaknesses in the justice and security systems. It listed the following as the main problems. State institutions failed to conduct timely risk assessments. These institutions were unable to forewarn of the impending violence. And there was a lack of capacity of South African police service members to contain the rioting and looting. The panel made several recommendations to prevent an incident like last year from happening.
Strengthening the capacity of law enforcement agencies to respond to all situations, reviving the functioning of the National Security Council, strengthening community policing forum, establishing partnerships between the public and the police, and establishing social cohesion and support programs.
The ministers in the security cluster say that they will ensure that such incidents are avoided in the future.
What happened should not have happened. It should not have happened because people should have known better. It should not have happened because as a human being, we should have an innate trait in us that protects one another. And people, there's no way you can bring those individuals who passed away or were hurt back. But what we can do is show that what happened was wrong. We don't condone it. And it should not have happened. And then also, we must do everything possible to make sure it doesn't happen in the future. What we can do is we can make ourselves better people from both sides of the spectrum. The non-racists in the black community and the non-racists in the Indian community can speak loud enough, in unison, and say, this is not us. Racism ends with me. I don't know if we'll be able to ever recover from it, but I think we will be able to heal from it in some sense if we change the narrative and change the story.